front men, and Philly checks in trouble, and it's Jefferson puts it away.
Living reflections from a dream.
Alright guys, and welcome back to the Frangerine Dream with me, the Franti-hero. How the bloody hell's it going? I decided, much like last season, to not come back and do the last couple of games of this season, because it was another one of them. We were decently safe, we weren't in any real danger at the end of the season. So I decided just to skip through and we'll get on to the next season, where I am hopeful that we'll have a bit to spend, seeing as we sold a couple of players earlier in the year. So I've got my fingers crossed for that, so I've rushed through to the end of this season. So let's have a quick catch up. You last saw this 1-1 draw with Derby. We drew one game, won 4, and lost 6 in our run-in, losing to Everton on the final day. So, I should tell you, Everton, by the way, who were managed by Duncan Ferguson on a permanent basis. Over the bloody moon with that one. Well in, Dunk. But yeah, who do we beat? We beat Sheffield, we beat Aston Villa, we beat Oxford, and we beat Hull, which was quite a good one, because Hull are, just 11th. They're 11th, but they've been in and around this top 10 for most of the season. So yeah, overall, I count this as a successful season, because just the fact that straight off the bat we sold a couple of quite important players for us and didn't bring anyone in as replacement. Well, we brought in Kieran Dowell, who has been a brilliant signing, and I might even reward him with a new contract, I'm not sure. But yeah, apart from that, we weren't able to do any strengthening. So to survive this season, I'll take that. I will take that, and hopefully we can start pushing up towards these promotion places. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that it was an uneventful end to the championship season for us. Fans player of the season, I am actually going to look this up this time, because I swear it's been Ash Kigbu every year since he started playing for us. And young player of the season for Blackpool is young Ash Kigbu. The 20-year-old Ash Kigbu has picked up the fans player of the season with 37% of the votes. Brilliant result for Ash. Danny Wilson in second, and Kieran Dowell in third with only 10%. I expected a little bit more, because he has been very good for us. Let's have a quick look at goal of the season. It's a Kieran Dowell corner, out to Markle Kane, and 20 yards out, he just lets fly, and it's into the top left-hand corner. What do you have to say about that, Michael?
Did you get mauled by a tiger?
What a weird thing to say about that goal. Signing of the season was Kieran Dowell. I think that's fair enough. 7.07 average, 12 assists and 2 goals from that attacking playmaker spot. And thrice he was player of the match, which, yeah, not bad. And if you have a look at these attributes, they're looking a lot more positive. But in fact, that might actually be because I cleared my cache recently and all the colour preferences have gone. So let me fix that. There we go. That's more familiar. But yeah, he still looks very, very good. It's not all green because we're not on the default colour shit. But yeah, he still has very, very good attributes, and I think he can get even better. He's currently valued at £1 million, which after a year is not bad at all. And what do the coaches reckon? The coaches reckon he can still improve. So yeah, good. Ash Kigbu was young player of the season. And again, he's just had a very solid season. He's had 3 player of the matches in 46 games with an average rating of 7.08. And it seems like every time I look at him, his basic defending stats have gotten even better. Like, these mentals, apart from maybe work rate and positioning, which are very, very good, are not great. But apart from that, he's just brilliant. He's just absolutely brilliant, Ash Kigbu. Highly recommended. Worth 6 million. I would sell him in a heartbeat for 6 million. But yeah, otherwise, brilliant player. Glad to have him. Our top scorer of the season was the ever-impactful Owen the Impact Jones, who has made 33 appearances, 8 of which have been starts. But in my defence, I'm pretty sure in those 8 starts he's done fuck all. In those 25 appearances off the bench, he's scored 12 goals and got 3 Player of the Match awards. We've not really used him towards the end of the season because he had a bit of injury and then he wasn't back to match fitness. But yeah, apart from that, he has been good. Highest average rating was Ash Kigbu with 7.08, which probably says more about the other players than it does about Ash, but again, well done Ash, well in. Most assists, predictably, is Kieran Dowell with 12. Best pass completion is Corey Knowles with 87%. He's the lad I told you about. He's just pretty tidy. He's an advanced playmaker. He's pretty tidy. But for 21, he's not good enough. I think he's one of the ones I brought in from Ireland. Yeah, I brought him from Carrick for just under £1,000, which is a pretty good price. But yeah, for 21, he's not really good enough for me, so I'll either probably sell him or loan him out next season. Most Player of the Match awards was Danny Wilson with 4, and most yellow cards was James Husband and Josh Vella, both getting 14. Good, avoiding that extra ban for 15. Good lads. And again, yeah, we were expected to bravely battle relegation, and we've avoided relegation, so I will take that. We lost in the FA Cup to Watford, of course we fucking did. Finished 19th, lost in the third round of the FL Cup against Forest. I think, that was the game I threw. Yes, this was the game I played a bunch of people who needed game time and fitness, so not too worried about that. Average attendance is creeping up year on year, just over 9,000 this time. And I'm pretty sure we can get that even higher if we just have one good season that can propel us forward. What else has happened? Team of the season, I guess. Lee Camp in goal, unsurprisingly. Freeman, Kigboo, Wilson and Husband across the back. Even though Freeman has had a dodgy second half of the season, he still makes it in. To be fair, I think Hodgson has missed about 6 months of this season, so it's not really surprising. In front of them, we've got Michael Caine, Brad Potts and Josh Vella, unsurprisingly. Unsurprisingly, in front of them, we have Kieran Dowell. And unsurprisingly, in front of them, we've got Danny Philliskirk and Aidan O'Brien. In fact, that is a bit surprising, because Danny Philliskirk has just played a lot. I guess he has got 9 goals. You can't really argue with that. But the time has come, I think. The time has come to sit Danny Philliskirk down and have a serious chat, because I was watching Freddie's latest video, where his first video in the Championship, he was talking about, the romantic side of the game and bringing people up from where the club started to where they are now. And he's got a couple of players who were with his Vanarama York side who are still with him in the Championship. And I feel the same about a couple of these. I've still got Brad Potts and Danny Philliskirk and Michael Caine to an extent. He was only on loan in the first season, but still, we've still got those players who have been with us for the whole journey. But one of them is flagging. One of them in particular is desperately flagging, and he just looks out of his depth. 9 goals probably flatters him because he's not had a good season at all. And with all the young strikers we've got, I'm certain we will be able to find one that's more consistent than him in the Championship. I'm absolutely certain. So it may be the summer that Danny Philliskirk leaves us. Who knows? I've got no plans to get rid of the other two. Brad Potts and Michael Caine are still very much in my plans. Potts can be a bit erratic with his tackling, but apart from that, they're both very reliable. So let's fast forward to when I've done all the fun summer stuff and I can show you all the signings I've made. Probably. Hello again, guys. How's it going? Fucking hell. I seem to remember there was a certain amount of sarcasm used about there being some signings. How there were going to be some signings. Ha ha ha. Yeah, right. Fucking look at this shit. We've actually done some. We've done some signings. We've brought in John Ruddy. John Ruddy, who I may or may not have met when I was at Everton. No, probably just missed him. But we don't know him from Everton. We know him from being a fucking stalwart at Norwich. To be honest, he's a solid keeper. He's a very, very solid keeper. And for Championship level, absolutely over the moon to have him. We brought him in on a free. He'd been released from Norwich. Obviously, he's not the quickest because he's 34 years old. We've got him on a 2-year contract, but I'm not sure whether he'll play into his second year. It depends on how much he's declining at that point. But right now, at the minute, I'm over the fucking moon because I've not had, in this save yet, a goalkeeper who I've looked at and thought, yeah, you are right for this level. You are good for us for this level. We've had Bobdrick, we've had Mayemba, we've had Woodman, we've had Camp, and just, they've always just been a little bit behind where I wanted. But I think, touch wood, John Ruddy is that player, is the player who is a good Championship goalkeeper and is going to do us proud. Hope so. Next up, we have bolstered the midfield with 2 midfielders. One of them is a natural defensive mid who I'm going to train up to play as centre mid as well, so he can be a versatile little guy. It's Ben Close from Pompey. Oh, delighted to have him. Again, free transfer. I'm not going to say that for all of them because they were all free transfers. We signed him from Rotherham. In fact, we've signed 2 Rotherham centre midfielders. I don't think either of them were at Rotherham at the start of the game, Freddie. But yeah, we've basically signed Rotherham central midfield, and they're quite good. Ben Close is decent technically. He's got a decent pass, decent at tackling, decent long shots from first touch. His mental stats are just brilliant. He could do with a little bit more aggression, a little bit more bravery, but apart from that, just fantastic. And in terms of his physical stats, very recently, it will have come out this Monday just gone actually. It was a Steven Gerrard v Frank Lampard v Paul Scholes versus, where I put a squad of Lampards against a squad of Gerrards against a squad of Scholeses. And Ben Close's physical stats remind me very, very much of Frank Lampard. His natural fitness is very, very high, his stamina is very, very high, and his strength is pretty decent. But not that much pace, but it doesn't matter because he can run all day. So I think we'll be absolutely fine. We've got him on fairly hefty wages for us, £9,000 a week. But I'm confident he'll be worth it. We need this bit of leadership, this bit of work rate, this bit of just this mental fortitude that he brings us. We've been lacking that for a long time now. Our other central midfielder is Jay Fulton, who is a natural centre mid who can also play in defensive mid, right wing and attacking mid. So pretty versatile, but we'll probably just use him in centre mid for the most part. And again, we bought him from Rotherham. Well, we signed him from Rotherham on a free transfer after he joined them from Swansea. But, and this goes for Ben Close as well, they've been playing very, very well in League One. So I'm very confident they'll be able to make the step up. It might take a few months, but I'm sure they can get there. I'm sure they can be good championship players. And Fulton is a similar sort of player. He's a bit better at tackling and at marking and with his first touch than Close was. He's about the same, I would say, in terms of his mentals. Bit less brave, bit more aggressive, but on the whole, he's about the same, and about the same on his physicals as well. So we've got 2 very well-rounded, very good, and very free midfielders to bolster our midfield. I will come to the reason I've had to do that in a second, but our final signing is a man who I am very excited about. Well, a boy at this point in real life, but a man on this game, George Hurst. And George Hurst, in real life, at the minute, in 2017, is an exciting player. He is being looked at by all the big teams. He's a Sheffield Wednesday in real life, and he is the son of David Hurst, who I am led to believe was a very, very, very good striker for Sheffield Wednesday for a number of years. And George is meant to be following in his footsteps to be a good player. And I'm very excited about him. He's been to Watford. He moved from Sheffield Wednesday to Watford in 2017. And he's been on quite a few loans since then. And in his last loan spell, he scored 16 goals in 45 for Port Vale, which isn't too bad, but there is so much improvement that he can still do. He's a target man by trade, but I'm training him to be an advanced forward because I reckon we can use his finishing, his dribbling, his pace. Well, not so much his pace, but his acceleration. And yet he's a very determined player, he's a very strong player, good heading, he's 6'2", good finishing. Oh! Cannot wait to see how he gets on. I really hope he can be the striker that we build our attacks around. We've not had one of them since probably Carlton Cole. So yeah, hoping George Hurst can be that for us. So those are our 4 signings, and we have spent precisely fuck all on them. But they were made possible by the fact that we have reduced our wage bill to such a point where we can actually bring players in on decent wages, because that's been our Achilles heel the last couple of years. So what's happened this summer in terms of outgoings? Sammy Amiobi's his loan move to Leyton Orient was made permanent for about 80 grand, I think it was, and it took 6 grand off my wage bill, so brilliant, way to go Sammy. He had a decent season for us when we first got him, but then I stopped playing with wingers and he became a bit obsolete. This was the big one, Josh Vella, who I am sad to see go, but he's a player that, was it a year ago or 2? It was 2 years ago we picked him up on a free transfer. He's been solid as fuck, and now he's moved on for £1 million to Bristol. Which I can't really complain about, really. This is the transfer that finally made us able to sign players. It gave us £1 million in the bank, which we could put into our wage budget and allow decent players to be brought in. So we brought in Fulton and Close to replace him, and we've also been able to bring in Ruddy and Hurst. Oh, excellent. So farewell, Josh Vella. Thank you for the solid displays. This is Lee Camp. You know that. It says Lee Camp at the top of the screen. But he has retired. He is now a goalkeeping coach, unemployed at the minute, but I'm sure he'll find work. Cheers for the semi-decent displays over the last couple of years, Lee. And aside from a number of loans that our young kids have gone on, there's a knot in the stomach over this one. Billy Clark. Billy bloody Clark. We've let him go on a free transfer. I think he was on about £7,000 a week and played once last season. So for us, £7,000 a week is a fucking lot. So we had to let him go. We had to let him go. He's past it. He can no longer be a Trequarista. But for the first probably 3, maybe 4 years of my Blackpool reign, this man ran the show. Just brilliant. He got us to where we are today, and we will be eternally grateful to Billy Clark. Cheers, mate. The only other player to leave of note is Jack Thomas, who we bought for a hefty sum when we first got to the Championship, $425,000. And he was fairly solid, but I think the step up was just a bit too much for him. So I didn't want to keep him on. He wasn't really worth anywhere near the amount he was worth when we signed him. So instead of tying him down, I've just let him go. And that's pretty much all of our transfer business. And so to the first match of the new season, the 21-22 season. And we face off against Billy Davies' Derby County side. And I think I actually played them last video, didn't I? But these are the cards we've been dealt. This is the first match of the season. We've got a couple of injuries today. James Husband is out for, I think, about a month. And Lee Hodson is still out with a broken leg. He'll be out for probably about 6 months still. Still a bit gutted about that. But this is a fairly new look lineup we've got going today. We've got John Ruddy in goal, the number 1. Freeman, Kigboo, Wilson and Higham across the back. Then we've got Michael Caine, Jay Fulton and Brad Potts as the midfield 3. Jay Fulton is going to be the holding man. And then we've got Kieran Dowell as an attacking midfielder, not an attacking playmaker, an attacking midfielder. Because he's now at the point where he can start playing himself in. He can start being a goal threat himself. So we're going to give him that responsibility this season. Oh, I did sign him onto a new contract, by the way. Very, very happy with that. And he is going to be playing today behind a very, very youthful strike force. We've got Stuart Wardle, who you've seen a number of times at this point. He's sort of the new Danny Philliskirk, but already better. So he is playing alongside George Hurst, who for the time being is just going to be a supporting target man, which is his most comfortable position. But over time, I want him to develop into an advanced forward. On the bench today, we've got a couple of new faces. We've got Glenn Key, who I'm not sure you've seen before. We needed a backup right back with Hodgson being out, so he can easily play there and at central midfield and just all these other places. So pretty happy with Glenn Key as backup. We've got Grant Campbell, who you've probably seen a couple of years back. He's going to be a backup left back for us. Ben Close, who is lacking a bit of sharpness. He missed part of pre-season, so he's a bit behind everyone else. Cal Dempsey, who I'm not sure what to do with him, because he's on a contract until next summer and he's worth £3.5 million. I really want to sell him. I don't want to let him go for free, and I don't particularly want to give him a new contract. So the only real option is to sell him, but no one's fucking offering anything for him. Probably because he's valued at £3.5 million for some reason. But yeah, he still makes the bench today, because fuck knows. We've got Owen the Impact Jones on there, of course, ready to make an impact. Danny Philliskirk and Aidan O'Brien, so a very offensive bench today, but with some youthful defensive cover as well. And I was so excited about that, I completely missed out the Derby lineup. They have gotten rid of James Milner, by the looks of it. In fact, let's just see where the Milster has gone to. Oh, he's a free agent. Is he really? Nope, didn't think so. Alright, cheers James, see you later. Moving on, we have got, obviously, a number of recognisable faces. We've got Alex Smithies in goal, Dominic Iorfa and Kieran Tierney as the fullbacks, John Sutar as the centre-back, Trent Alexander-Arnold as a defensive midfielder. I did not know he could play there. I thought he was just a fullback. But, yeah, he looks like he's developed into a solid player. Adam Forshaw, who's always a threat as a playmaker. McMullen. Now, McMullen. Yeah, I actually sold him to Derby for 1.2 million and they've barely played him. He got loaned out to Huddersfield last year and actually did quite well. Oh, interesting. Interesting proposition. Keith McMullen. And then they've got Ben Yedder and Forestieri, who still looks like a pretty classy player at 31. So yeah, decent team they've got there. Let's see how it faces up against my new look Blackpool side. Not a classic so far, I've got to say, but we do have a free kick. Michael Caine to Kieran Freeman, the only man back. Hurst knocks it down to Wardle, and Dowell! Dowell scores! Yes! Kieran Dowell puts us ahead against Derby. Oh, excellent start. The first half an hour has been a bit nothing, but that looping ball from Freeman, nodded down by Hurst, played through by Wardle, and Dowell was there to finish it off. That is, listen, that is precisely what this front three are about. We've got Hurst to nod those long balls down to Wardle. We've got Wardle who can make chances for himself or he can play in others. And we've got Dowell who is not only a playmaker now but he is also going to be a goal scorer. Oh, excellent. The three of them combine and I am very happy after 35 minutes of this match. But will I still be happy in the second? Ben Yedder to Tierney. Not so happy now. Not so happy now. Kieran Tierney gets his first goal for Derby County. Ah, who was this at the front post? Michael Caine missed his header at the front post, and I think the blame rests squarely on his shoulders. John Ruddy didn't cover himself in glory either, but we'll let him off. It's his debut. Okay, 1-1 at the break is fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm especially pleased with our goal. Okay, 18 minutes to go. I'm going to make a couple of subs. Debutant Jay Fulton, who's had a good solid game today. He's going to be replaced by another debutant, Ben Close, and Stuart Wardle, who has got a slightly better rating, slightly better fitness than George Hurst. But for the way we want to play, we need to keep Hurst in there, and only Impact Jones will come on to make an impact. Go on, lad. We've gone for attacking for the last 5 minutes. Will it make any sort of an impact? I don't think it will. We've only got about 15 seconds to go. And yeah, that's probably going to do it. Unless Derby break our hearts now. They don't. John Ruddy gets onto the cross. And it's a 1-1 draw against Derby. That's alright, isn't it? That's fine. Yeah, so progress already being made. We weren't that great going forward, but with a new look front line, and we just had that flash of a great move. I think we can have confidence going forward. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm pretty happy with the summer we've had in general. It's been a while since we've been able to bring in several quality players who will genuinely improve the squad. And that's exactly what we've done, and I'm, yeah, over the moon at the minute, but we will see how I am by the next time I speak to you. As always, please remember to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and please do check out mine and Freddie's separate channels, which have just general gaming stuff, nothing about Footy Manager on them. There will be links for those channels up in just a second, but apart from that, I will see you next time. Bye!